Hey everybody, what's going on? Today I'm using my iPhone again to shoot another video because, well, I forgot my other phone. I'm working on this property, and behind me you'll see what's left over of the 4 sketchy Aspen that I posted on Instagram recently. There were a few. One was completely dead and falling toward the neighbors. One was falling toward another neighbor over that little fruit tree, little choke cherry over toward that house over there, and needed to come down. This one here was the most stable because even though it leans heavy at the bottom, if you look up at the top, if you can see it, it's probably the most central of them all, and I used it to climb on to get the others done because they were further leaning and less stable. They all are included crotches down here at the bottom. They just all grew up together very closely, but they're not actually attached. And this berm here is a fake berm that a landscaping company put in years ago. I'm expecting probably 20-25 years ago. And the family, from what I understand, that previously owned this home was really into the local garden clubs. And they competed for, you know, the best garden of the year or whatever. And since then, it's just unfortunately become a lot to maintain. They moved away, somebody else bought the house, and it's just not what it was. Understandably, because there's a whole nother topic with this that we'll talk about in another video. But anyway, these trees here, these Aspen, they have upheaved at the ground. It's hard to see now. I have a whole bunch of sawdust and stuff down there and wood, but they have upheaved at the ground. The dirt is cracking and being mounded out, pushed out, because the wind was pulling these apart and different things. So it's not super ideal. Of course, I felt that it was safe enough after pool test and things to climb, and it's been fine so far. But one thing you always have to worry about with these Aspen is their brittle factor, especially in the winter. They lose a lot of moisture. You cut through a live one and it looks dead. It's so dry a lot of times. And they are already brittle by nature. They are part of the poplar family. And so on this one in particular, considering that we've had a few days of like somewhat warm weather and then freezing, I did not want to overload my forces on the tree if I could help it. So in this case, instead of using a basil, I've chosen to use a top anchor. So I have run my line up, cinched it off through a alpine butterfly, and I have my climbing side here on the ground right there. Sorry, I'm having to do everything backwards. And I also have my retrieval side over here. Now the thing is I'm going to top this out and then I'm going to come down. So when I get up there, I have this in case I have to bail out and get my rope out for some reason. But once I get up there, I will untie this whole system and tie in a running bowline or alpine butterfly, whichever I choose, at the top. And I will, or bowline, whatever, and I will cinch it on the spar as I come down as my emergency evacuation line. And in this particular case, while I do climb by myself a lot, or I had been, I've kind of stopped doing that more. Not because I have had any particular instances that made me feel unsafe, but because if something does go terribly wrong, there's nobody there to help me. And in this particular case, my groundsman that's been helping me, the guy that I use as a groundsman, he pulled his back and has not been able to come. I need to get this tree down. So today my wife is going to be my spotter. I'm not doing any rigging or anything. I just need somebody there to help me in case I can't see something clearly, or in case something goes major wrong. I need somebody to use the blood stopper packs, the first aid kits that I have, and most importantly call 911, because It's nice to think that I'll have the mental capability of doing that, but you never know. And if something goes really wrong up there and I knock myself out or something like that, then I definitely want somebody who is around to call emergency services. So this is just precautionary stuff. Like I said, I've been on this stem quite a bit. It hasn't been an issue much. It's been very stable. I've been swinging a little bit on it, not, you know, too heavily because I don't want to apply too many forces. But instead of using a basal anchor to double the force or double my weight, I wanted to use a top anchor so that it's just my static weight on there, and whatever little forces I am putting climbing, which is a jar and whatever, which is a lot less than if you use a basal anchor running through the top. So couple of things to keep in mind with trees like this one is that warm days and then extreme freezing at night can really make them more brittle than they normally would be. So think about that when you're tying in. If it's something that you're not sure about, probably don't tie into it, tie into something else. And look for pockets of decay. These things are known to get a bunch of decay and stuff in them. So look for pockets like that, and just be extremely cautious when you have weather temperature swings and you have like freezing and stuff, because they can crack and split. Check the tree out, even if you're climbing it the day before. The next day, check it out again, and just make sure that you guys are being safe. So I hope this helps you out. Hope it's beneficial. Hope it gives you a few things to think about. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out the latest episode of Elevated Office Podcast. You can find that through your podcast distribution sites or anchor.fm. And also leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, if I'm missing something that I should have said, if I am mistaken about something or anything like that. I hope to learn from you guys as well. So let's get into it, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. Talk to you later. Bye.